Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how I achieved my makeup I was wearing in my Sephora VIP recommendations video, and it's pretty simple. As you'll see, I did a monochromatic moment using this blush duo from Patrick Ta, and I just adore how it turned out, and I was so happy to see that many of you wanted to see it, so here it is. I'm first going to go in with my Urban Decay Face Bond Foundation in the shade 5 Fair Neutral. I use 7 if I'm using my First Aid Beauty Glow Drops, but I want a more matte finish to my skin, and the Glow Drops obviously create a dewier effect. And I'm blending this out using my BK Beauty 101 brush. It's such a dark day outside today, and whenever it's like super overcast, I feel like it also fogs up my brain. Does anyone else feel that way? I always feel a little off on super dark, depressing days. But we're gonna turn that around with this super warm and peachy makeup look today. We'll bring out the warmth through my makeup. My order of application is going to be different in today's video. I'm now grabbing my blush. Today I'm using my Patrick Ta She's the Moment blush. You can use any of the duos or virtually any blush you have in your collection to create this look, and it's going to be a monochromatic slay. This color is so cute and fresh. It just makes me crave fresh, super juicy peaches. It's so summery and beautiful. So I'm taking the cream side first with this Rare Beauty blush brush. I'll be using the powder later on, but I'm taking a touch, and I just like to really mush it into my brush this way to gauge how much I have going on. And I'm applying it in the areas I would typically highlight. This way I get more of a lifted look, and I will be using this blush duo on my eyes, and I feel like it's just a little bit more flattering when it's a little closer to my eye look. And I will be applying concealer, so some of this will be taken down in a bit, and while I'm at it, I'll add a little to my nose. Now that I look nice and feverish-ish, what am I doing? Bronzer. Let's just go into bronzer. Now I'll be going in with my concealer. A moment ago, a memory popped up in my brain, the most random memory too. It was when my YouTube channel first got monetized, which was such an exciting day. I was like, oh my God, this is an actual possibility for me. I could potentially work online, like that's so cool. But anyways, I remember we all sat down, and the first commercial or ad that popped up on one of my videos was a Manscaped video. A Manscaped ad, and it was so funny and detailed. Like, I remember it was like a guy reaching into his boxers. Anyways, funniest little memory that just popped up. I don't know. Thank you, Manscaped, for making that moment so memorable and funny. So now with my concealer, did I say which one I went in with? I used Say in the shade 5. So with my concealer, I'm able to kind of tame down the area. Sometimes I tend to bring my blush a little too forward in the apple of my cheeks, like right here, and that's not what I want for today's look. So I'm able to tame it down with whatever concealer's left on my sponge here. I feel like that wasn't brightening enough. I feel like this was a little dark. Hopefully these concealers mesh well together. I'm adding a touch of my Fenty Beauty in the shade 150N. So now to set my under eye area, I'm using my Huda Beauty powder in Peach Pie, which is the perfect color to kind of mesh into the blush and bring an overall peachy tone to my face. So I'm taking it on my little Huda Beauty powder puff, really tapping it out and smooshing it about. I don't know if these concealers are going to be a good match today. That was a mistake on my end. Do not do that, okay? I forgot that I used that Say one when I used my First Aid Beauty drops, but I'm just going to apply my powder like usual. The rest of the products I'll be using are powder, so I'm going to take my Kosas Cloud Set with another powder puff. This one's a little bit bigger, but still from Huda Beauty. I just take a bunch and do the exact same thing. Look at me setting my entire face with powder. Who is she? Now let's add some more depth because this is looking super disconnected. I'm now going to bronze. I'll first take my glowish bronzer from Huda Beauty, and this is in the shade 01 Light. I just want to add a little bit of radiance and dimension, but overall some warmth. And this is a BK Beauty 103 brush. And because I wanted a more bronzy effect, I took this big loose brush because I feel like it distributes the bronzer in a more natural way instead of a structured way with a smaller brush, if you know what I mean. And I'm taking it around my cheekbone here, and I'm kind of wrapping it up on my temple, up on my forehead, all the way across. Same thing on my temple and down here. And whatever's left, I'll take down here and on my chin, as well as my nose. So just an overall wash of bronze. And then with the same brush, I'm just going to grab some of my Kaleidos, kind of focusing more into the contour shade right here. And this is in the shade Light. And I'm doing the exact same thing, but a little bit more concentrated right here and following up. Really working it into my hairline. Revisiting my blush now. I'm taking the powder, and when you're working with the powder with these, make sure you have the lid closed so this doesn't get all chunky and gross. I'm taking my favorite blush brush, which is the BK Beauty 111. And then I'm taking a good amount of that, and same situation here. And I'm applying right in the same spot I did the cream. And if it looks a little harsh, I just take my bronzing brush again and I just twirl over. And then for my highlighter, I will be using one of these new blushes from Rare Beauty. This is the shade Cheer. So it has kind of like that peachy base, but it's a little bit pinky, which I thought added a nice little touch. So I'm taking it with my Moda Pro Glow brush, just on that area right there. Same with on my nose, just right there. This is my favorite way to use these, just as like tone on tone highlighters. So now it's time for the kitten intermission, so please enjoy. I'm going to use this palette here. I'll be using these 4 shades as well as the cream brown. So starting off, I'm taking a big fluffy brush. This is a Smith 237, and I'm using a mix of these two. And I'm flicking out towards my temple. Now I'm taking a smaller one. This is a Smith 232, and I'll be grabbing this contour shade just to add more depth right in the crease, like right here. Right there. I'm not blowing it out as much as the first mix. I'm taking the blush duo once again, just with the powder side, and I'll pat this on my mobile lid, working upwards, but I want the most pigment right on my lash line, like so. Then I'll work it up. I avoided the cream on my eyes because I feel like it's going to be too dewy, and I feel like it's going to crease my shadow throughout the day. So that's why I just went in with the powder. This is optional. You don't have to do a winged liner like me, but I'm using the cream brown to create one. And I wanted a little bit more of a chunkier style. So that's why I started thicker on my lower lash line like this, and I went straight out. That way, when I have my eyes open, you can still see it, because I do have a little bit of a hooded thing going on. It's not, I don't really have hooded eyes, but some of my lid does get hidden. Partial hooded lid, I guess. And then I'll connect it to the top lash. With that original warm mix I made, I'm going to fade the gel liner or the cream shadow or whatever into one another here like this. And I'm going to take a bit of the dark brown in here, this one, just to set this in place. And then I thought it'd be fun to highlight my inner corner using the Rare Beauty blush. I want to try it out. It might be too dark, but I'm way too curious. So this is Cheer once again. Maybe a touch dark. I just grabbed the shade Mesmerize and like the original highlighters just to brighten that up a little. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to finish this eye and I'll be right back. I'm now adding some mascara, and I've actually been using a different one. It's still a Clio Kill Lash, but it's in Sleek Volume. This one just offers me a bit more volume and drama, but with all of the same qualities of this one, the volume curling one. But here are the eyes all finished now. What do you guys think? Now to move on to the lips, I did add a little bit of the cream to my lip. Just a touch, just to kind of tint them, because if you add too much of this, it kind of gathers up weird. Obviously this is formulated for the lip. I just wanted the same tone everywhere. And to line my lips, I used the Rare Beauty lip liner in the shade Lively. It's kind of peachy and pinky at the same time. And I originally thought that this was like too blank, so I did add some MAC Stone. Just to kind of add a little bit more depth. And I go in with another layer of the Rare Beauty just to kind of blend it in better. Like so, and then I topped it off with a lip balm, and that day I used Summer Fridays and Birthday Cake. And that's how I achieved the makeup I was wearing in my Sephora VIB recommendations video. I also think this look would be stunning using this duo, Just Enough. Honestly, there's so many colorways that you could do this and it'd be so cute. But I really hope you enjoyed today's video and found it helpful. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I will have everything I used listed and linked in the description, so feel free to check that out, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!